Thanks for coming so fast.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the Magic Square MS-B31A, the detective. This is their Hound. This is repainted, and this is going to be a two-part video. First, I'm going to do a quick review of this thing. We've already looked at this before. We've already transformed it, so I'm not going to transform this. We're not going to go to alt mode. We're just going to look at the comparison of this to the original. If you want to see all the other stuff going on with this exact mold, I have another review on it. But we're going to go into a discussion in the second half of this, talking about why I'm chasing these recolors for Magic Square, why I'm not picking up all of these for New Age, and I'm actually doing 2 of Magic Square. And then we're going to do kind of a compare and contrast between Magic Square and New Age, and there's pluses and minuses to both companies. We're going to discuss that, but we're going to take a look at this. I did get a Show Z. I'm going to have a link down below where you might be able to get yours. It says sold out. Sometimes they're getting more stock, like a second shipment, so they might come back in stock. But anyhow, let's talk about this repaint and a discussion coming up. All right, here's the box, and I'm guessing the artwork is exactly the same as the original box, but I didn't go grab out the original box because it's a lot of work. There's a sticker on it, but it feels exactly the same. The only difference would be this A? There's an A on there, A? Anyway, simplistic. I miss the window boxes, but it doesn't really bother me. So here he is in his much darker form. That's the original. Just right out the gate, you can kind of see the color difference, but we're going to get into specific comparisons on this here in just a bit. But looking at this guy, he does look pretty good. I think this is the best looking Hound, and when we get into comparisons with New Age, which I don't have their figure, we'll do a pictorial comparison. When we get into that, then we will be looking at that. Now hopefully I got enough light on this guy so you can see it, but it is a much darker green, and he has silver instead of kind of the, well, it's not white, it's kind of like an off-white that they had on the original one, but there is the face, and it's a pretty decent face. Hope it's captured on there. Great looking paint on it. The eyes, the face works for me. And then you get over here. We've got this as an add-on. You plug it in, and it's got some paint right here on the shoulder cannon. And then we have paint right here on the headlights and the winch. The winch? The winch. We got paint on the star. We've got his lower abdomen chest kind of piece right there. And he's got great movement in the torso / waist movement. And then does have the hip flaps. Is it a hiding hip flap? Yep, an auto hiding hip flap, which is great. And then looking down here, we got paint all through here. So my goal, what I was hoping for this was it was going to be a painted version, not just cast in a slightly different version of green. Looks like there's some tape residue on it or something. But it's just a darker version, and it's not painted like the green is not painted. So that's what I wanted out of this guy. I still didn't quite get it, but we'll talk a little more about that here in a bit. And then there's his gun, which is silver instead of the off-white. Now, I think he looks great, and I'm going to have trouble deciding which one I like more, but it's kind of one of those things. It's the newness factor. I just got this one. Right now, I currently like it more. 6 months from now, will I be like, oh, well, I kind of like the first one more? That's a tough call. Quick articulation, head side to side, up and down, arm out to here, flip it all the way around, bicep swivel. Short arm is, okay, one downside on this, I feel like his arms are too short. I wish they were just a little bit longer in the kind of the bicep area. If that was just a little longer, it would be great. His hands do go side to side. They are molded in place. You got up and down, side to side, extreme ab crunch, whatever you want to do. It's got steering wheel in the back. You go all the way about 90 there, and it stops. Like, so the butt doesn't have a rear hip flap, so it does not go much to the back. And then you have to pull this side flap out to go to the side, and that's as far as you're going. I mean, do you really need to go much further? I don't know. The knee is a double joint, so you get all this wonderful stuff out of the knee. And then down below here, the foot, ankle, side to side, up and down, whatever you would need. Get into a standing split. Well, you'd have to pull this other piece out here, side flap. Get that side flap out there. Get out there, side flap. Then you can get as far as you need to go. For accessories, he's got these two accessories, which once you plug this in, you can still keep it on and transform it. That's fine. This wheel, it's the rear wheel. And then he has the gun that's going to be placed in there for his alt mode. And with that, that's cool. Then he has this, which is his, so we use this to make his holograms, and then plug it in there. And it's pretty simple. But he can use that. He can make a hologram. Like, let's say he's saying, guess what? I'm here, but I'm also right here. Look, see? I'm over there. I'm not standing right here. Look. Tag me right there. Look, now I'm gone. See, he can do all that kind of stuff. That's kind of cool. Anyhow, that's what that is. Those are the accessories. Nothing too amazing. And now I feel kind of goofy. I can't, for the life of me, remember what this here, this tab's for. Is that part of transformation? I just don't remember. Might have to look at my other video to find that one out. But anyway, those are the accessories. And the card they include, I think, is exactly the same. The color looks the same. Everything looks the same. All right, now we're going to get into a more side-by-side comparison, then get into a discussion about this. So looking at these, as you can see, this is a darker green. Is that the only thing? No. Darker green. The silvers look very similar on here, but he has kind of the off-white-ish face, cannon, side pieces right here. In fact, actually, I bet you it's easier for them to use one color of paint instead of having multiple different colors of paint on there. And I'm wondering if these pieces here are cast in that and glued on. I'm not sure, but it's probably just paint. It probably is paint. But anyway, looking at all of that, it is a different look, a different aesthetic. What would you like the most? This almost feels more like a toy color version. And with it, I'm currently kind of liking the new one a little bit more than the original one. But neither one of them have the finish that I wanted at the end. But there's a little bit of more reflectiveness to the silver here. There's even the reflectiveness of the silver there. So with that, I kind of like that more. So that's where I am. The yellows look more orangish on here, and I don't know if that's just because I use darker materials, they're painting over the darker materials, or if they actually picked a different Pantone for that color, and I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. But you can see more orangish, a little bit more yellowish there, and those are the differences in these guys. And there he is next to the Optimus Prime. Now, this is what's kind of messed me up, and I'll be getting into discussion here in a bit. I've been trying to find more Magic Square figures that are painted like this. They did this one. Maybe this is a special offshoot they'll never do again. And I have to admit, though, I do feel like, although this one is what the Optimus Prime is what I want, this one has a bit of a sheen to it due to the silver paint on it, and the darkerness of the green does make it pop a little bit more on the shelf than the original one. And with that, I kind of feel like this works a little bit better, in my opinion, than the first one. So we'll bring the first one in too. You can decide which ones you think looks the best next to it. At this point, they're both showing sold out on Show Z, so I guess it doesn't matter. Well, it matters for future decisions, right? All right, now we're going to get into a discussion about Magic Square versus New Age, chasing down the same figure multiple times to try to get the right coloration and the aesthetic that you're looking for, and looking at them side by side. And on the very right, I'm going to have the New Age version. Now, the New Age one looks okay. If you've got the New Age, you're happy with it, that's fine. But looking at the pictures alone, I don't like the lower feet on the New Age. I think it's too short. I think that the design is not the aesthetic that I want. And that's Magic Square. Now, there are several New Age ones, and I'm about to show you here in a bit that I think are really great New Age figures design-wise and scale and everything. And then there's some that I think look good, but they're too small. We're going to get into that here in just a bit. But looking at them, I know for a fact, because I have enough New Age stuff, that the New Age one will present better paint-wise than this. And I mean, it's constantly the same situation, but Magic Square designs get me. And that's where it is. And that's why I keep trying to get the Magic Square design with a New Age paint. Sometimes Magic Square does it, but they don't always do it. And that's frustrating. Next up, I want to get into scale. Now, I think Magic Square scales better with themselves than New Age scales with themselves. In what world is Cyclonus this tall? And Wheeljack this small. I mean, does that make any sense to anybody? To me, that makes absolutely no sense. Like, I can't see Cyclonus towering over Wheeljack like that. That does not make any sense to me. And in my mind, you would say that Wheeljack should not be this much shorter than a Hound. Well, to be honest, their Hound only comes up to about Magic Square's shoulder, so it's not that much shorter than their Hound, but still, I think that Carbots are relatively the same size. For the most part, Hound might be slightly taller, but not this much taller in any way, shape, or form. So I think that Magic Square gets their scale a little bit better. Like, looking at their Jazz, since they haven't done a Wheeljack, their Jazz is slightly shorter, but still considerably taller than this one. But we get into the second point, though. Look at the shine and sheen, and look at the presentation of both of these figures. They look amazing. People will argue this is absolutely the best figure ever made by New Age, but some of the people that don't argue that, it's because they're not a huge fan of Cyclonus. So that's just kind of here and there. I think this is an amazing figure. This is an okay figure. It's not the best, design-wise not the best, but it still presents very well. The next thing I want to say is that New Age will come out of the gate and say, I've got 6 figures of the same figure, 6 repaints, variations. They're actually technically, some of them are different characters, and they'll do that. They did it with this guy, they did it with Grimlock, and whatever they decide. And they made some cool stuff out of this one here that you won't see even in Masterpiece. And so with that, they did it right out of the gate. Magic Square will come out and put this guy out here. You'll have no idea if when this sells out, you won't see it until 2030, another iteration, or they'll just come out with another one. They'll say it's a repaint. The pictures look super ultra shiny. This is not painted. It's not shiny. It's a little flat on the green. It's got a slight sheen to it. I'd say slightly more than the original one, but you just don't know with Magic Square if they'll even reissue it, or if you just missed the boat, now I got to pay $300 for it on secondary market or something ridiculous. So I kind of like that about New Age, that they're up front. We've got 6 different colors coming. What's now the third one of this coming from Magic Square, and it's up for pre-order at Show Z, but it's supposed to be painted. It says painted, as in this painted. I'm tempted to pick up the one of this, but I've already bought 2. I don't know if I want to roll the dice for a third. Now, the only reason I've gotten so many, I chase them for myself, but I also want to show the viewers what you're going to be getting. I love the Magic Square, and I'm not let down by really any of the Magic Square figures just yet, but I want this level of paint, and I would pay $10 more, wait and pay $10 more if I knew, hey, we're going to do a painted version. It's going to cost $10 more. You can wait and get that, or you can get this one right here for $10 less. So I would love that with the Magic Square. I like New Age, the way they do it. I don't like how Magic Square just leaves you hanging. All right, anyway, got that off my chest. It's not the first time I've said all this, but it's time to say it again. But I think now it's more relevant because stuff like this, with third iteration of this, and I'm not even sure if it's going to be shiny. The reason I like to get into talking about that kind of stuff is because a lot of times someone will get their first one, review it, and be like, I don't need another one, so there'll be no reviews on the repaints and the other ones down the road. But let me know what you think about this video. What do you think about these figures? What do you think about the situation that Magic Square continually just leaves you hanging on what's the new figure that's coming out or what the paint will be like? But my liking right now is I like the new one better. I like the new one better. I mean, it hasn't changed in 10 minutes, but with that, what do you think about it? What do you think about the situation? What do you think about this figure? I'm going to have a link down below where you can maybe get one of these. Like, subscribe. Tell your maker out.
Thanks for coming so fast. According to my time tonight.
The meteor could be an energy source of incalculable strength.